What's up, boys and girls? Old Uncle 2 back with you once again. So, this weekly outlook was actually recorded early on Monday morning, but you're not getting it until Tuesday. Mi culpa, I apologize. That's because I really kind of laid up a great trade for you, and we have to give value to our members. And it's a trade that I'm hosting and walking them through step by step within the Discord. It's going quite well. Stop well in profit at this point, but I just didn't want to share right at the cusp of the entry because it would not be fair to the members. So please enjoy. This idea still is valid for the weekly outlook, and it'll keep you on the straight and level all the way up until next week. We're going to update some interesting price action from Hove. He killed it last week, just like every week. Hopefully we'll do the same this week. All right, let's get right into it.
Okay, let's get into the SP 500. Last week, Sensei Hove reminded you that I had this flat wave finishing up to a fifth wave to complete a zigzag at the all-important 4100 level. And he had mentioned to you and showed you that we had met it at the time. However, he alerted you to the fact that this wave here looked very three-wave, so we could potentially move up beyond the larger corrective channel before we might retrace. He also made it clear that it was very important to watch this corrective channel to know when we could say that the top was reliably in. Of course, that does not mean it is definitely in. However, once it breaks, the top is reliably in from a trading perspective. And now we have broken the top. Then, of course, last week, we created this motive wave down and then moved directly into the 50. I alerted the guys to it that they could take a short position at this area. However, as price has developed from that short, it certainly does appear that this is more of a motive structure off this low, and that this, where's my polyline? There it is. This is a zigzag structure. Now, of course, as we always do, we check the base trend. For that, we have broken out. So therefore, this, while it could be an X, is not likely to be a 1-2-1-2 down. It is more likely that this is a zigzag. So this could be an X and we could come down. However, I think at this point that we're putting in a zigzag, a larger degree zigzag to the upside, probably up into this area of resistance here, maybe through the golden corner pocket of this impulse, but I left it on the chart to show you. We have a reaction right at the 618. Algo target just through. And of course, we have the previous base trend that we fell out of, which is always a very nice spot to time a trade when we retest. And of course, we have the even larger corrective trend line that we've already rejected from. And yeah, very nice confluence area up here for a short. If I had shorted on the alert guys in the Discord from last week, I would be covered. Of course, I would have been covered on Friday anyway because I'm not taking that through the weekend. In any event, I believe that we will continue on for the weekly outlook, probably the entire week to the upside, it appears. I don't know how long this will take. Maybe it'll only take a few days, but this looks like it could take the rest of the week. Probably will take longer to develop than this A wave did before we then will continue this trend to the downside, headed towards new lows. All right, let's get into Bitcoin. All right, so last week, Sensei Hove put you on notice that he expected a move higher after resolution of this wave and a corrective wave. Well, we've had a little bit of developed price action, and I think that his micro count has to be altered somewhat, and we have not yet created a new high, but I believe that we will. Let's get into it. So we have what is undeniably in my mind a 5-wave move off the low, 3-wave move that is followed by that. Then, in my mind, we have a perfect impulse to this level. That means most typically when we see this similar magnitude impulsive waves like this contained within a corrective channel, it'll be a zigzag pattern. However, it could also be a second one wave. We would then not expect the potential proposed two wave in a 1-2-1-2 to break the base trend channel created by the original zigzag. We have come down in a clear three-wave move and not broken that base trend channel. So therefore, we still firmly have 1-2-1-2 well within expectation and guidelines in play for a potential. However, we cannot rule out that this is a potential C to this level and we're making some sort of an X. However, off of this low, we have what appears to be a very impulsive move, meaning that we have to determine what context can we have an impulse in this situation. Well, first, it could be a fifth wave. Well, it doesn't take out the high of this previous move here. Therefore, it would have to be a truncation, and we would expect a truncation, first of all, to be very rare. Second of all, the move that follows a truncation should swiftly retrace the length of the truncation. I would say that we had plenty of sideways in here. We could still meet that expectation, but it's pretty hairy at this point, right? And then, in addition to that, this wave overlaps with this wave, meaning that this is not an impulsive structure. This is not set up to be a diagonal, although it could fit the rule set other than this truncation, which we would not expect in a leading diagonal. Not to mention the impulsive subwave structure would be outside of the normal expectation. And of course, if this were supposedly some sort of an impulse and you wanted to forgive an overlap because people want to do that in Elliott Wave all the time, I almost never do, you have no extension. So therefore, as long as we're working within probable expectation, we know that we have two similar magnitude impulsive waves, so they could either be a 1A, 2B, 1 or C, 2 or A, and therefore, if this were potentially an A, we could go 3, 3, 5. We could, do all kinds of things. However, now when we go to the right of this 2 or A, we have a motive wave. So therefore, the A is very unlikely at that point. Unless, of course, we do, well, that's not true, because we could put in a 5, 3, 5. So then it would be A, B, C, flat wave potential, or 2, 1, 2, 3 to the upside. So really, basically, we've contextually, based on rules and guidelines, forced ourselves into a corner, into the expectation that we should move upward, at least for the beginning part of the week, at least in a move similar magnitude to this one. And my expectation is that it should probably move up quite a bit more. And if you want a more macro perspective, be sure to check me out on Twitter. I will post several macro perspectives because I think that we are in an area that could really go several different ways. But check me out on Twitter at Sensei Tutum, and I'll be sure to update you this week. And of course, we can always take advantage of this in the trading realm. And at Transform Trading, we are currently trading this market right now. I'm hosting a live trade on this chart as we speak.